please, please take time to get your libations. We in here, get your libations, get everything you need, because we have a lot to talk about this evening. And some of you kind of already know, or you don't know, you have kind of an idea of what we're going to talk about today. You have kind of, you know, you've been kind of put on to it a little bit. So we're going to have a conversation. And one of the things that we're going to have a conversation about is what's been happening to us. So please, 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 before we do all of that, we always got to do a little bit of housekeeping, fam. Please take some time to hit that like button. Let me make sure I got this right. But please take some time to hit that like button for me. Also take some time, if you can, to share. Please go to subscribetobrown.com. If you have not already hit that, hit that little thing that looks like a bell, please hit that bell for me too. That'll be great if you can hit that bell to get notifications when I come online. Please, 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 please do that. For those of you who don't know, we always have some housekeeping we have to do. On the 21st of March, we will be doing our book review, American Slavery, American Freedom. 21st of March, you still have time. If you have not read the book, you still have time to actually read the book. You still have time to take care of that and do everything that you need to do. So I would appreciate it if you would do that. I'm going to hit the music off in just 1 second for me, fam. But please, 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 if you didn't hear me, please, please, please subscribe to brown.com. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please hit that bell. Please get your libations, because we're about to get started. We haven't done anything yet. Also, the next thing that we have to do, I was monkeying around with the music trying to get some stuff straight and forgot I left it on. But the next thing we have to do, fam, we have to, I hate to use the word promote, but what I need to do, we have a conference. For those of you who do not know, there is a conference coming up. Here is that flyer. Please, 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 you can go on to Twitter. Go on to my Twitter. This is pinned to the top. This is pinned to the top. So if you go to my Twitter account, you can click on the link to actually get you some tickets. October 4th and the 5th, ladies and gentlemen. October 4th and the 5th. October 4th and the 5th. Come and join us and be a part of the Breaking Brown family in real life, where we can meet each other, see each other in real life, and enjoy each other and talk politics and talk agendas and all the stuff that we need to talk in real time and in real life, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get down to it. I don't want to waste a lot of time, because we got to get down to it. I know some of you all have to get to bed and other things, and you have a life, and we got to get down to brass tacks. We don't have a choice. We got to get down and talk about what we came here to talk about. Came here and talk about what we came here to do. So here's what I got to talk about, fam. You know, we've had a lot of conversations, family. We've had a lot of conversations that led up to this. We did a lot of work. We've done years of work to lead up to what we just saw in terms of all of us, you know, getting involved. This is all everybody's talking about. ADOS, people are debating it on Twitter and on Facebook and on social media, on the news. We got a misinformation campaign. We got a lot of stuff going on. So, family, one of the things that happens, see, we've been doing the whole political foundation conversation, but one of the whole thing that happens that we didn't necessarily anticipate is that when you do an information campaign, fam, what also comes along with that? There's also a misinformation campaign. So what we are going to do tonight, in part, is we're going to deal with the liars and the people who are saying things that are not true. We're going to deal with all of that, because we don't have no choice. That's just what has to happen. So what I want to do, fam, just let me get this up real quick. I want to go through something for you. We're going to do this piece by piece, because what we do on this show is deconstruct. That's what we do. We deconstruct. So I want to start with something, because the first people who came at us, or the first group of people who came at us, were what I call the blue checks. So the blue checks on Twitter decided that they was coming, and they was going to come for us and try to try to defame us as, oh my goodness, these people, they are just bots. Now, hold on. We have been more vigilant against bots in our community than anyone else. And that's really not our responsibility, as I have explained before. But you have this spook, for lack of a better term, coming on here and saying this. And then when I challenged him on it, he left. He ran away. He took off. He took his hat. He took his Snoopy bag and he got gone. Then you have another one comes across. Ha ha ha. I see the bots aren't saying very much today. The bots don't have much to say. So when you get, so is this what's going to happen? Understand the game is being played. What's going to happen is every time somebody disagrees with us, what's going to happen is, you must be a bot. You are a bot. I know a bot when I see a bot. Now, what you have to do, fam, when you run up against that, what you have to do is tell people, listen, what kind of digital analysis do you have that proves me to be a bot? What kind of study have you done that says that, or what kind of information have you seen, report, digital forensics? What have you seen to lead you to believe that this is a bot-infested group? If not, you're just smearing a group because of something that you heard online or MSNBC or whatever the case may be. But somebody's going to have to provide supporting information, and that's something that we have not done. And that's number one. That's the number one thing you come across now because of Joy Reid and Digital Sister and all that. That's the number one thing. But if you don't have forensic analysis or digital analysis, and you're not an expert, you're just somebody who got picked by CNN or MSNBC or whoever else to talk about politics. If you all of a sudden, Negroes or digital experts all of a sudden, you have to challenge them on the merits of what they're saying. And if they don't have it, tell them to move right along, because there is no supporting evidence. I actually have supporting evidence in my DMs that even a lot of the people who don't have a lot of followers are not bots. You know how many people I got in my DMs like, no, Yvette, I just started doing this for you. So we talked about that. That's number one. That's the first allegation. That's the first lie. And this is the first way that you decide to navigate your way through that. Now, the second lie is this. Oh my God. These people, they just talking. They don't have an agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an agenda. We have a page. You can go to ADOS 101. ADOS 101, and you can find what the agenda is. You can find what we stand for. You can find what the black agenda is, what the mission is. You can find all of that at ADOS 101. On this page, if you want to go there as we kind of walk with me. This is what they say. Walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. Now, if you all want to go there, you can also go. I'm also relaunching breakingbrown.com in the next few days. Well, because I feel some of this needs to be articulated in essay form as well, because I've been saying I'm going to do that. So I'm doing that too. So for all the people who say that, but let's just go through some of this. You know, we demand a new deal for Black America, and there are very specifics. There are specifics in there in terms of what that black agenda looks like. There are specifics in there about the racial wealth gap. We talk about mass incarceration. We talk about all the disparities in education. We talk about the conference. We talk about what we hope to come out of the conference. Understand that what we are doing here, I haven't really seen anywhere else. And the meaning of 101 is in terms of class. You have politics 101. Remember we said we were doing politics 101. Okay, there are a lot of people who are coming up now who don't know what this is, who we are. So we're explaining to you on this site who we are, what we do, what we want. So for all those people, well, I haven't seen an agenda. I don't know what they... ADOS101.com. That is your agenda. That is your one-stop shop to what we are trying to do and achieve in terms of mass incarceration, in terms of SBA loans, in terms of everything from everything we talk about in terms of closing the racial wealth gap, in terms of that's how slavery expressed itself. All of that is on that page. Right? That's what that website, that's what we're talking about. So let's dispel that rumor. So we dispel number one, y'all a bunch of bots. Spell number two, well, y'all ain't got no agenda. I don't know what y'all doing. You don't really have an agenda. Y'all just talking. That's number two. So what is, when we go to number three, ladies, now we kind of getting into the thick of things. Now we kind of getting into the thick of things of a lot of people who don't know anything but stay talking. And so one of the things, I hate to do this, I hate to put people on blast, but sometimes what you really have to do, fam, you have to kind of put people on blast. If you don't do it that way, what happens is if you don't put people on blast, nobody really understands. See, it's one thing for me to tell you something while I sit here and you and I have a conversation. It's another thing for you to see it and see the ignorance and see how I deconstruct it and see how you should deconstruct it, because people are going to try to co-opt and destroy. I want you to keep that in mind. They're going to try to co-opt what we're doing and destroy what we're doing with stuff that's not true. A lot of people are throwing straw mans around. I'm seeing straw man arguments come from every different direction. Straw man arguments. Let me just bring this up first. This idea, this is the idea, and this is, I'm gonna bring up what I said, because we got to do this in real time. I said this on Twitter. I was engaged with some person who makes t-shirts, and they said, and they basically kind of castigated me for like being American. And I said, well, I am American. This is the country of my birth and my ancestors too. I do want the fruits of their unpaid labor, and we have been oppressed multi-generationally. I don't know what you expect me, why you expect me to feel regretful about. I don't know what you expect me to feel regretful about. This is what I said to this person. Now I want you to see what was said. Now you see now what I just said. Now pay particular attention to what I said as well as what I did not say and what they came back with. Is this woman who will lead the black masses to freedom proud of being an American? First of all, I said nothing about pride in there. You see how everything gets misconstrued. But understand what this person is saying, and I want you to pay close attention and careful attention. Now just block this person. Don't try to engage, because they spend their days collecting tweets, and they'll probably just tweet you into some kind of epileptic fit. But let me just say this. Let me just, I'm gonna make this mine. I want to say something, and I just want to show you. See, first of all, I don't know whether he made a mistake or whether reading comprehension just isn't a thing for him. But you have to see the sleight of hand that these people do. What they do is say, oh, you're proud of being American. You said, first of all, I didn't say anything about pride, but there's nothing wrong with being proud of what our ancestors built in this country. Look at what they did. The fact that we're still here means that they survived, and that is something to be proud of. And if you're telling me I can't be proud of it, even though I didn't say that, you're telling me that I should not own my Americanism while you sit here and eat off the fruits of Americanism. See, because that's what happens too often. You come here, and I'm talking to you, my immigrants. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to my allies. My allies give me all the information and intel on you. But what I'm talking about is, how can you tell me, or how can anyone tell me, that I can't be American, and that I can't celebrate my Americanness, and I can't celebrate the contributions of my people and their ancestors who built this country with free labor, but you're going to come here and live and enjoy selling t-shirts and designing t-shirts and everything that is. You selling t-shirts to Americans, you designing t-shirts for Americans, but you're going to tell me that as an American, I am not fit to lead. Anyone who accepts being American as an American black is not fit to lead other Americans. You have to understand when somebody tells you that, understand that what they're trying to do is talk you out of your birthright. So you want to come here and be American and eat the fruits of America, or speak up for people who eat the fruits of America. Well, you're not saying you're being mean to immigrants. I know I'm not. I never done that. I said we have a specific justice claim as American DOS. That is in no way mean to anybody. It's specificity in terms of who we are. And if you have a problem with specificity, and if you have a problem with groupings, then you need to go tell all African countries, get rid of your tribes, because it's divisive. But you have no problem, absolutely no problem, with any other group coming over here and being American and accessing Americanism. You would never tell an immigrant that they couldn't be there. And let me tell you something else. You would never say it to a white person. You would never tell a white person you're not fit to lead because you claim your country, because you claim Americanism. I tell you what you do. You probably shuck and jive. You probably be real differential. Well, you know, I guess we can try to come to some kind of, you know, you my brother, we y'all brothers, we be brothers together. But you be real differential. Remember with me, oh, you ain't nothing because you try to claim this country. But it's my country. I don't understand how there's some type of miscommunication. I don't understand how you are confused about who I am and what I claim. See, I've said this before, but let me say it again. The whole con here is to convince us, ADOS, to be perpetual outsiders. So, for us to rail against America while everybody else slips in and eats the fruit. So if you say I'm American, oh, you claiming this country, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Meanwhile, that person is stacking money and stacking money and stacking money. And you see it. You remember in the Los Angeles report, the income inequality? Every other group had more income than we did. I mean, more wealth than American DOS in LA. So you slip in here and you want to slip in here and continue to get money and access Americanness. But then when I say I'm American and my people built this country, oh, you came all the way over here to access it. And I built it and I can't claim it. So you moved here to access it and I built it and I can't claim it. Let me tell you, anybody who tells you that is a con artist. And that person is not your friend. That person is not your ally. And they never will be. And let's go to the second part of it. Because sometimes, it's, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen all the time. But sometimes you get a level of just silliness and stupidity that you just feel like you've hit the jackpot. So with this one, I kind of felt like I hit the jackpot. So it says, well, for those of you who don't know, the only reason ADOS exists is because the actual founders who are black, I don't know what black means, watched Black Panther and were pissed when they found out they wouldn't be welcomed in Wakanda. Oh my God, the ignorance that is, like, listen, it only takes a cursory Google search to understand that Antonio Moore and I have been in this space for a very long time. I wrote my first article about how Obama was not African American. I didn't have the ADOS language then, but I wrote that in 2011. Like, I just really think people who don't know enough or don't know anything shouldn't talk. But it's easy enough if you're going to deal with that to take screenshots, right? And to go back and be like, that's just wrong. I wouldn't waste my time with this person, but I'm telling you that, like, there is a record. And when there is a record, you can always go back to that record when people are trying to hijack the narrative and trying to say stuff that's not true. Everything that we are and have did is available on social media. You can go back to 2012, 13 for videos. Before that, for articles. So everything that we have done predates that. So, I mean, it's almost like you have these grown people who are online just to get jokes. And I understand that's what social media is. But, like, there are easy ways to just kind of put a dagger in these kind of little arguments. But don't spend too long because people who live on Twitter will keep you on Twitter forever. You gotta just go in there and slice and keep it moving. Because you can't be in there all day. So that was number 4. Like, number 3 was being black is a sellout. That's how you just, so that's how you gut that one. Number 4 was, you know, you put on, this happened with Black Panther, any kind of stupid thing they could throw out. Black Panther was a great lens to understand how everything was working, and it was a great lens to deconstruct a lot of things that we had already been saying. But in order to understand that, you have to be a person who understands nuance and can hit that curve. And what we're seeing is that a lot of people can't hit the curve. But there's nothing we can do if you can't hit that curve. You can hit that curve, you can hit that curve. We can't help you with that. Nobody can help you think. Nobody can help your capacity, because, like, the brain is a muscle. You got to work it. And if what you do is tweet and collect tweets all day, you can't really work it. And there's nothing we can really do, and we can't help you. So we're not looking to increase your intellectual capacity. That muscle, you just don't work. It's not about IQ or anything. You just don't work it. And you haven't been here long enough. You haven't been in this space having this debate long enough. We've been here a long time. So that's the thing that we have to understand too. The next thing that comes up a lot, and I'm not saying that the writers of this book agree with me or anything like that, but the second thing, this is the 5th thing that comes up all the time, is this thing of, well, Yvette, I tell you the problem with Yvette. I tell you the problem. Nobody asked you anything, but you're going to talk. I tell you the problem. They want to be white. So somehow saying that we're American is wanting to be white. No. Yeah, well, that too. But Yvette said on one show that we should be able to access whiteness. And that's what it means. No. Again, when we threw that curve, you fail. Like, it's almost like you ever been playing tag and somebody chase you and you move, or it's like, and they fail because they couldn't pivot the same way you pivot. What you're seeing is a lot of people fall. One of the things that the book Racecraft did, written by black women, one of the things that it did was show how race is kind of like witchcraft, in the sense that it was created to have this bottom group. We've talked about this. Y'all are just late and you don't read and you don't know, but we've talked about this. One of the things we talked about was how it creates this bottom group. That's what it does. That's the whole point of race. And why should you listen, if you don't understand anything else, please understand this. Please understand this. The reason when we talk about what we have talked about in terms of how do we get sold by other Africans, quote unquote, black people, because there was no race. There were just tribes, and there were opposing tribes. And so we got sold for opposing tribes to trade for all kinds of things. They were in the flesh trade. There was no black and white. Black and white was an invention to create this kind of bottom caste and decide who could access that and who was going to be left out. So in America, it was a decision for who was going to be able to create wealth and who was going to be a contagion to wealth. Because if you remember, redlining made us not just not able to access wealth, it made us a contagion to wealth. That means if we were in your neighborhood, we destroyed your property value. So it put us over here, because even if you were a well-meaning white person, you didn't necessarily want a black person, because there were cases where you would be sued if you sold your house. There were covenant deeds. Let's remember this. This was an invention to keep one group to eat the failure and one group to eat the fruit. So when I talk about accessing whiteness, I'm not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about hair texture or none of that weird stuff. I'm talking about accessing what it means to be normal in America. A normalization is what I'm talking about. That's what accessing whiteness is, because it's obviously not about complexion, because there are a lot of Latinos who access whiteness. There are Irish people who were, when they came here originally, were thought of as black. They were thought of as monkeys. There are all kind of posters, but they were able to later on through the New Deal access whiteness. And what I talk about in terms of accessing whiteness, I'm not talking about accessing whiteness in terms of you want to be white. No, I'm saying that this thing that they invented, this two grouping thing that left us on the bottom, we have to come outside of that. That's exactly what I mean. You know, there were trials for ethnic whites like the Italians. You know, that's what we mean when we talk about wealth. That's what we mean when we talk about this invention. When they talk about racecraft, they compare it to witchcraft. It's not a real thing, and that's been proven. When you have, you know, it used to be they tried to do the whole thing of, well, it's genetic. They got small brains, the bell curve, and then we found out that wasn't true either. That was all a lie. Poverty does reduce your capacity intellectually, but there is regionality in terms of a certain group on the west coast of a certain country or continent may run faster, have better lung capacity. But there's nothing tied to the color of your skin or the texture of your hair that leads us to believe anything called race exists. It is an invention intended to put us on the bottom. So why would you keep it? And that's why so many other groups have gotten rid of it. That's why you saw the Italians and all these other groups get rid of it. See, I'm dropping this. They were darker hued, dark hair, dark eyes. No, I'm not going to be brown because I know what that means. So why would you cling to something that is an invention of the people who oppress you? Why? Accessing whiteness in terms of the way I describe it is a way to access what it means to be normal in America and have the wealth of America that our ancestors built with free labor. That's what it means. Now, if you can't hit the curve long enough to understand what it means, I don't really know how I can help. And that's number 8. Yvette wants us to be white. The next thing that I keep hearing as we go along this list, I keep hearing people say something else. People say to me, well, Yvette, I did it first. I've never heard of you, but but that doesn't even matter. For y'all ADOS people, me and my group, we was doing this and yeah. Here's the thing. There are 2 people, Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, who've been doing this, and we've been doing it in a very specific way. We haven't been doing this as a vanity project. What you have been doing is a vanity project, and I'll tell you why. Let me put up this person. This person was trying to get my attention for a very long time, and today I had time. So, and they, you know, they go through this whole thing about how they've been doing reparations, and they did it first, and at the end of it, they say we never gonna get it. So wait a minute, you go through this whole thing to tell me, you go through this whole conversation to tell me how you've been on the project and you was the boots on the ground. Although another thing you said that you're not a leader, you're just a soldier. You boots on the ground. You're not a leader. Well, if you're not a leader, get out the way, because leaders have something to do. But then you tell me, see, when you tell me, listen, when somebody tells me the thing that they fought for all of their life and they're telling me they did it first, that thing is not possible, what that tells me is this. That tells me that you were involved in a vanity project. See, my project is not a vanity project. You were involved in a Kumbaya project, which involved making everybody in a whole landmass of Africa, of 54 countries, you was gonna do stuff with, and you was gonna slide into a pillowy dashiki to make yourself, and we all in it together. There is nothing real. It's a fantastical, imaginary pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. There is no tangible benefit that flows this way to American DOS. American descendants of slaves get nothing from this. In order for this to ever have worked, it would have to have been led by the leaders of African countries. And there was a window for that, and that window is gone. But you are stuck in 1955 and 60 and 65. You are stuck in a time that doesn't exist, with opportunities that don't exist, and you don't even know it. You are a walking statue. You are a relic. You are an artifact. It is time to move on. You are in the way. And you never believed this was a Kumbaya project for you. Everybody got in the room and everybody felt good, except the people who were coming here who might have sold us were getting to access Americanism. There is nothing set up for me to have land in Africa, West Africa, where I was sold from. There's nothing set up for me to have a visa, a bunch of free stuff, and there's nothing set up, but there is access to a first world country. And let me tell you something, you're not even looking at anything in a way that makes any sense. You are not excluding anyone. Why in the world would we get reparations if we just said, why in the world, if we're ever going to get American white people to approve of reparations, why would they ever approve of it if all brown and black people get it? That would put them on the bottom, and it wouldn't have any justice claim. You don't have a justice claim if your bones aren't buried in this country. Some weird person told me, y'all buried all the way in Nova Scotia. What is wrong with y'all? Nova Scotia? Listen, there's a lot need be said. You know, there are a lot of groups who are kind of tied to like a self-esteem project. I call it a vanity project, but it's also a self-esteem project because you feel lost. I don't feel lost. I don't think we should feel lost. We have survived in the belly of this country and fought, and other people get to access that fight. I don't feel lost at all. And I'm not tied to, this project is about inclusion and exclusion. You see, I've said this, but it bears saying again, you do not file a lawsuit or a justice claim against general whiteness or general oppression or general imperialism. And you file it against America. That's why we have to be very specific. Specificity is key. We have to be very specific in terms of how we do this. American descendants of the American descendants of slavery. That's why we put American first. If you have another odd acronym, that's not our thing. And that's why I responded to the Ann Coulter tweet. No. You don't get to tell us what to do and how to change it. If people are trying to shoehorn their way in, that's their problem. We know that's disingenuous, but we do what we do. You also can't be caught by people who want, well, you got to do this, you got to do this. I don't need no advice from you and nobody else. I'm going to do it how I do it. That's what we're doing. We're not doing all this odd stuff. It's specific, it's done, it's cemented, we're finished. And I don't care whether you are Billy Bo Job or whether you are Ann Coulter. It don't make me no difference. I have sameness amongst everybody. It's not the same project, and you haven't put the same work into it. All these people, I invented the da-da-da-da, what have you done? What have you done? I don't think people understand, like, and not just Antonio, me, the Breaking Brown community, all the work that was done, all the emails that have been sent, all the conversations that have been had, all the relationships, all the arms twisted. I don't think anybody understands, who is saying this stuff, that these are not just videos. If Africa is in your acronym, your project is not my project. My project is an American project, because I understand that the minute we stepped onto this soil, we became American. I don't care how you feel about it. Once your ancestors' feet hit this land and nobody came for you, we became American. And we proceeded to build this country with free labor. I'm not going to go back and claim nothing else. And why would I? Everybody trying to get here to this first world country, and you run into the third world. What's wrong with you? All this I did it first. I was there in the summer of '72, but I ain't no leader. And this is, as we go through what people are saying and what they're going to say, one of the things that they always say and that they're always going to say, in terms of, we got to be one with Africa's 54 countries on a continent. So like even saying Africa, even saying Pan-Africanist makes no sense. There is no uniformity. We've talked. There is no uniformity on the continent. There are divisions on the continent. There are divisions within the country. And you're going to do what with that? I'm looking for a Pan-Africanist plan. You're going to do what with that? You're going to talk because it's a vanity project. You don't want to make anybody mad. You don't want to make anybody upset. You don't want to make anybody frustrated, which makes you a weak person. I'm sorry. You're weak. If you don't want to make anybody upset, if you don't want to do what's best for this group because that will make other groups upset, then that makes you weak. And it means you don't care about me or the group that we're in or us getting a justice claim. You can't say, somebody said, the dude said to me, well, I want reparations, but I also want to stop imperialism. Do you want to fly like Superman too? We're a bottom group, and we are downwardly mobile, falling fast, and you're going to talk to me about getting reparations is a hard enough thing. You're going to talk to me about, I want to do that, but I want to stop American adventures abroad too. Have you been drinking? Like, who says that? That's not a plan. That's a scatterbrain nonsense. And people will tell you, well, Yvette, that's not in the black radical tradition. Listen, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to listen to black radicals. I don't care whether you're listening to Biko or Malcolm X. I don't care, Kwame Nkrumah. All that is wonderful, great. But at some point, you got to get up off your lazy thinking self, and you have to decide which is the way forward for a 21st century globalized America that doesn't look anything like it looked back in the time when a lot of these people were writing. You have to have some political imagination. All you're doing to me online, folks, is regurgitating. You are regurgitating stuff that other people told you. You are regurgitating other thinkers. I'm trying to figure out when you're going to think for yourself. The few of you who are academics, You haven't really written out any plans. You haven't really gone around and done any studies. You don't publish. You're not doing serious work. But you're going to tell me what to do. You know who you are. Well, it's not in the tradition. And we're moving forward as a group that's going to be led. We have our moderators, and our moderators will be reaching out. You're not going to just... We have people in this group, everybody who's in this chat right now, most of our people have been here since the beginning. You're not just going to come here and just start something new and move on. We will reach out to you and we will deal with it. We're not going to keep on, y'all not going to keep on just grabbing stuff. No, but and then you get out and say all the wrong stuff. Well, I did. What is that? What? Well, and then you reach back out to me. Well, Yvette, you know, he did say you trying to be white. What are you talking about? Like, how did you not understand what I said? And the people who are pushing back against us also don't understand timing. If you look at them, half of them look like 1955. 1955 walking, 1955 clothes, 1955 ideas. You're not in. I had locks. You're not any more intellectual because you have locks, or you have on a bright colored jogging suit. Listen, let me show you something. This is what happened. If we were going to do some kind of Pan-African project, the leaders who were gaining their sovereignty and moving in a direction where they were trying to stand up for blacks in this country, for ADOS in this country, those leaders would have had to live. These people, between 1961 and 1973, 6 African independence leaders were assassinated by their ex-colonial rulers, including Patrice Lumumba of Congo, who was killed 50 years ago today. This article was written a while ago. What I'm telling you is this, and I want you to look at this. Everybody from Lumumba to I mean, even when we talk about who else we got. I want you to look at these. I want you to look at these African leaders. I want you to look at all of them. We got Sankara. And he was actually one of the most ahead of his time. Sankara, Biko, all of these people. You would need that kind of leader for a Pan-Africanist project. Because the country, a sovereign country, would have to take the lead, because we're in the belly of the beast at 14% here with the minority. They would have to take the lead. Right? But here's the problem. Not only were these leaders assassinated, these leaders were in large part replaced with African puppet leaders. So the leaders who were visionaries were assassinated and replaced by pro-Western puppets. What do you think our chances are? Who do you think? These are leaders who won't even stand up for their own people. These are leaders who won't even do what's necessary to make sure that their own communities thrive. These are leaders who run away with a bunch of money. Right? These are corrupt people who won't even do what's fair and what's right for their own people. And you're looking to start some kind of project with who? Or show me a tangible, quantifiable project that you've seen working, that you see may reduce the racial wealth gap amongst ADOS. Don't worry, I'll wait. I will wait. Y'all remember this article, the Nigerian state governor who dressed up in a dress to get away with a whole bunch of money? It's not just one thing. You're stealing from your own people. What kind of faith should I have that you're going to be there with me? What kind of faith? What kind of faith should I have? And I don't need y'all even all in the page talking all kinds of stuff. Listen, we got Reggie, Marguerite, Chris, Kimberly. We got a lot of moderators. I don't need y'all in here just spreading it. Listen, and trying to act like, well, Yvette, it's got to be Pan-Africanist. How? Why? Based on what? I mean, don't worry. I'll wait. Just somebody tell me. Somebody tell me how this is. I'm here. I've never heard a cohesive argument. The only thing I have ever heard is that, Yvette, you're not in the black radical tradition. Okay. All right. If you let your people live like this, what can you do for me? What would you do for me? Y'all gotta stop. These people gotta stop. And the second thing is, you know, it's not only just that, right? You know, people act like we don't know what America's capable of. We were here. We've been living here and fighting here. We're living here and fighting here and surviving here. We kind of understand. We kind of get it. Maybe you don't get it, but we get it. And I understand that a lot of, when we talk about elite Africans, we have to talk about y'all. Let's have a conversation. You talk about, well, Yvette, we should always be thinking about Africa at all times. All 54 countries, apparently. All 54. We should be thinking about that at all times. Well, hold on a second. Who thinks about me? Read an article that said there are more Ethiopian doctors in Chicago than Ethiopia. Did you ever think before you came over here, I don't know if it would be good for me to be a doctor in America because black people over there are already having a hard time. I don't think I want to come over there and take their job. Did you think about me before you did that? Okay, well, let me ask you this. We have others who will say, well, some of y'all will come over here so you can get this, you can almost for very little cost for free, you can go to Trinidad and get a medical degree, right? And then come over here and be a doctor. There are a lot of places you can get a medical degree and be a doctor. Over here, little or no cost, they will foot your bill over there, pay for your medical school, and you get to come over here and be a doctor. Did you ever think about whether it's good for me? Because I got to pay American doctors and be $400,000 in debt, and you're going to come over here and compete with me with no debt? How come we haven't carved out a space that says you don't get to come? No, you got to have an American degree to practice medicine. You got to have an American degree to do a lot of things. That will cut a lot of stuff out. You need an American degree because it's not good for me to be, so I'm saddled with a bunch of debt. Well, you come over here with a degree that you got over there in an immigrant country, you come over here and you practice medicine over here. Did you ever ask me whether that was good for me? Did you think about me? Did you think about, it's not really fair for me to come over there and I got my medicine for free. I should practice over here in Trinidad. Let me tell you another thing. How many of y'all come over here and get American dollars and then go back home and live like kings and queens? Right? So you come over here and get American dollars to spend really good in your African country or Caribbean country, right? You go over there and spend those dollars and make the people feel like trash. No. Everybody keeps talking about what we should do for other groups, and there's no consideration of what has and has not been done to us or for us. Why should I have to compete with somebody like Lovey? Or why do you have exclusionary citizenship? Your citizenship doesn't say American DOS are welcome to come over here and have a second citizenship, have dual citizenship. We welcome you. Come over here, get your passport, get your Ghanaian, Nigerian, Eritrean, Ethiopian, Kenyan, and we accept. You get a bloodline. Y'all don't, because we're from West Africa, but y'all want us to claim all of Africa, so I'd include Eritrea, all that stuff in there. You're not offering us any benefit. There's nothing said, well, you get a bunch of land if you come over here. If you come over here and resettle, you get a house and a bunch of land because we want you here. No, but everybody wants us to be Pan-Africanists. This is a one-way con. You cannot do it that way. We have to. We have to look out for ourselves first. And I'm going to tell you something. When you talk to African black immigrant allies, they will tell you that you're right. That's where I get all my information from. And it's because when I say that somebody in Trinidad got a free education and came over here, it's free because they're citizens. Citizenship matters over there. I can't go over there and get a free education. You get it because you're a citizen. But you don't want me to have any citizenship benefits here. You don't want me to claim my Americanness in the richest country in the world. You better leave me alone. And leave all of us alone. We know what we're doing. We woke up. No. So you get to have free education, come over here, and then you get to have a free education, come over here, and not have no debt, and compete with us. And when we say, oh my God, things are really hard for us, you say, stop complaining. Oh, well, oh my. Oh my. We better start understanding what our friends are and what an ally looks like, and what an ally doesn't look like. We better get real. We better get honest. And let me just say one more thing before we even go to break. Let's just say something else. Let's just make another point. There are a few points that I want to make as well from these magical Negroes. These magical Negroes. Well, mother, Africa. I want to settle in Africa. We got to be there. Let me tell you something. I've said before that if you're American DOS, this is where your ancestors' bones are buried. This is the battleground. I have said that before. I've said that many a times. But let me let you understand something. Whether you stay here or you get your fantasy to go to the motherland, you are going to deal with America. You want to know why? Because America's everywhere, baby. America is running things. I don't care. You are going to have to deal. You are going to have to deal. You want to deal with America as a citizen, with a birthright, or you want to deal with America as in an undeveloped country? You want to deal with America in an underdeveloped country as an immigrant, or you want to deal with it as a person in the home of their mother and father and grandmother and grandfather and great grandmother and great grandfather who have a justice claim in this country, or you want to deal with it like this? AFRICOM is everywhere. I don't know what you think you're planning. All of you people with your fantastical ideas about, well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go here. Where? Where? What do you, it's almost like, you ever seen a little child run away? And you say, well, where you going? I'm going here. I'm going there. I tell you. That's what this feels like. It feels like we're behaving in a way that, there's no way for me to really describe it other than childlike. This fantastical, you don't even know, like most of the people haven't even figured out what regions that they think they're from. So what are you talking about? And look at this. Look at this. U.S. military says it has a light footprint in Africa. These documents show a vast network of bases. You're gonna run from America. You're gonna run from America, and then run slap bag into America. Then what you gonna tell them? You gonna throw your passport out then? Then when they treat you like everybody else. When they treat you like the Africans in whatever country you're in, you're going to try to, no, I'm American. Well, you should have stayed your happy behind over here. If you get free education in Trinidad or whatever, you can use that against us. By not fixing it for us and leveraging it, a Trinidad doctor, can get diversity. And we have to have $400K in debt. So they get to maneuver in a way that we don't get to maneuver. That can't work. That doesn't work. Like get rid of stuff that doesn't work in your benefit. We can't stand this cost. And let's just read a little bit of this, shall we? From this Intercept article. According to a 2008 2018 briefing by AFRICOM science advisor Peter E. Thiel. The military's constellation of bases included 34 sites scattered across the continent, with high concentrations in the north and west, as well as the Horn of Africa. These regions, not surprisingly, have also seen numerous U.S. drone attacks. You ready to go run into a drone? And low-profile commando raids in recent years. For example, Libya, the site of drone and commando missions, but for which President Donald Trump said he saw no U.S. military role last year, is nonetheless home to 3 previous undisclosed outposts. Gonna run away from America and run right into America. With no, you don't got no justice claim over there. You don't even have any leg to stand on. You're an immigrant in an underdeveloped country with drones. Is that your king? Is that your Black Panther? And it's not just listen. You have to, if you look at this, it's everywhere. I mean, this tweet is about Kenya. The user, thank you to Kenya for joining the United States and now 79 member strong coalition. AFRICOM partners. Look at this. Just pay close attention. Supporting the federal government of Somalia, countering Boko Haram. In AFRICOM partners, national governments operating within the overlapping mandates of the G5 in Libya. Everywhere. Where you going? Where you running to? Where you going? You'd rather be at risk of seeing a drone than actually U.S. strategic interest in Africa. I mean, look at this. Wait, where are these Pan-Africanists think they doing? U.S. Africa Command, 6 lines of effort. Capabilities. Develop security. Day-to-day activities. Chad. Here we go again. 7,500 uniformed, based in Germany. AFRICOM is supported by 7,500 uniformed personnel. DOD civilians and contractors assigned to the command and its 6 components, blah, blah, blah. Look at this. Man, that's a lot. I just want you to pay attention to what I want you to pay attention to how embedded AFRICOM is in the continent. 53 countries, 800 U.S. Africa Command Area of Responsibility, 53 countries, 800 ethnic groups, 1,000 languages. Where you going? Come on, my Pan-Africanist, talk to me. Tell me where you're going. Tell me where your escape route is. There's no way to deal with any of this without dealing with America. And if you deal with America, we have to deal with America with our interests first. Our interest has to be primary. We built this country from tobacco to cotton. We have to deal with what we're owed. Not 54 countries in Africa on a huge landmass that can't even deal with. No. None of what you're saying makes sense. Look at who they saluting. Huh? Who's in charge? It's just a basic question. Who's in charge? Can't you tell? Everywhere. Across the continent. what you gonna do? Anyway, Breaking Brown fam, it's about time for us to take that break. I'm going to take a break. And then when we come back, we will get to the phones and we will have a conversation. You can call in and we'll have a conversation. Try to keep as always, try to keep it concise, so that we can go on to it and we can keep it moving. You know how we do. So I will be back in, about 3 to 4 minutes, fam, and we'll have a conversation. What's going on, fam? What's going on? We are back. We are back, and I am about to go to the first call. Like I said, fam, let's try to keep it concise and try to get as many callers as we can in a shorter period of time. So let's try to be as concise as we possibly can. I am going to 951. 951, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Yvette?
What's going on?
How you doing today, man? I'm calling here from Reno Valley, California, man. I'm Ocho. I just wanted to call and let you know about our little problems that we're having here being an ADOS member myself.
Okay.
I preach daily and let everybody know about the situation we're having with immigration. Also know about the situation that we're having with just people that are our former brothers, still are our brothers, but it's hard to kind of break it to them, let them know, hey, you know, we do have this place in society. I preach every day to the younger people, let them know we have our place in society as being American. We fought in every war. We've been in everything that's possible as far as building the country. And it's hard for people to understand that. They're used to undermining us on a whole different level. I'm to the point now to where I don't rock the American flag all hard and proud, although I do understand that we built this. We're in every war. And then for other people, Hispanics, I don't care, Nigerians, Belizeans, you name it. We love them. We really do. But they need to understand where we're from. It's a serious topic. It's just one of those things to where, and I wanted to tell you one thing too. As far as what you're doing, obviously you're doing a fabulous, great job. I very much so commend you. But I don't want you to be fearful to having a great speaker, a famous great speaker. I know you're good yourself, but you're more so like you want a person to say the right thing, and I get you. There's fools going up there. They rep ADOS, they'll say the wrong thing. I'm like, you know what? That wouldn't say it like that. I get it. But don't be. But I don't want you to be fearful to have a great person. Teach them your word. Teach them.
Who?
And then you do it, Yvette.
Who? I mean, who you said a great person? Who?
Man, you can't. Dr. Claude Anderson. We got a lot of people out here.
No, fam.
The list goes on.
No, fam.
Dr. Claude Anderson.
You need to click up. I appreciate you, but let me tell you something. Y'all real slick in these. Y'all real slick. Listen. You do not build something to give it away. You do not build something to give it away. And when I talk about building, I'm not talking about somebody. Listen, we have used Darity's work. We have somebody did a great thing and did a Goodreads for all the books that we have had, and there have been a number of academics. You know, Darity is our main go-to in terms of that, but we've discussed a lot of books on this show. But so we have taken a lot of information to craft this in a way painstakingly. Every Monday and Wednesday and Friday for Tone Talks and Quick Hits, we have done this for years painstakingly. Listen, I'm all for helpful and constructive criticism. I'm all for that. Y'all all can email me and we can have that conversation. The Breaking Brown family always know that. A lot of you get emails back and forth from me. You know that. But I'm not going to build something to hand it over to anybody who just may have written something 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever, and you're supposed to just hand this whole project over to someone because you think that person is a prolific speaker. I don't even know what that's based on. But like, I thought he was gonna say Darity or something. I thought he was gonna say, well, let Darity. I got no problem with letting Darity get up there and do his thing, 40 acres, all of that. He can do the whole thing. I thought that's what we were going. He tried to dip that in there. Child, these people, y'all slick. I'm going to 510. 510, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, how you doing? This is Robert. I've called in before. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, Robert. Hey, Robert. Hold on 1 second for me, Robert. I just want to add one thing before you go on, Robert. Darity, we have invited Darity to speak at the conference that's coming up, just so you know, because so much of what we're doing has been undergirded by his work that we have asked him to speak, and we'll let you all know whether or not he's going to be able to come or whatever. But he has definitely been invited and has been given a prominent space to be at this conference. So it's not about whether or not anybody else gets to speak. It's about who gets to speak. And Darity has his work has undergirded so much of what we do that he's the academic, he's the person that needs to be there. So I'm sorry about that. Go right ahead, fam.
Hey. Yeah, thank you. First of all, just a few things. Number one, just really want to say thank you for the work that you and Tone are doing. I really appreciate it. I don't think you need another speaker. You own this. This is yours. You're doing a fantastic job. That's number one. Number two is that, since you guys are blowing up, we just know what this is all about. That so when you guys start blowing up, and you're blowing up already, but once you hit once you guys hit the mainstream, just be praying for you guys gonna be facing they're gonna come after you guys with black faces and white money. That's what they are, all them phonies. That's what they're gonna come after you with. So I just thank you for this. People are calling this a movement. I'm calling this a sustained uprising. I don't do movements. This is a sustained uprising. And this is what we're about. And I'm glad you guys are the voice for us. And just wanted to call and say thank you. Just want to share one more thing.
I appreciate that, fam. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Go ahead. You got one more point?
Back in 1990. What's that?
You got another point? Go ahead. Make it quick, call. I'm trying to get some people through.
Real quick. Real quick. Back in 1999, me and my wife went to South Africa on this trip. And I'll never forget, one of the women on our trip kept asking all the South Africans, she kept saying, they were all, euphoric about, what's going on in their country, Mandela, this, that, and the other. And she kept asking them, do you guys control the means of production? And every time she asked that question, we were there for about a month. Nobody can give her an answer. The answer was no. So I feel what you're saying. We got to take control of what we're doing over here. We got to control what we can control over here before we worry about anybody else in other places. Thank you, sister.
No problem, fam. I appreciate it. I don't think we. Thank you, caller. I don't think we understand too when people don't coincide wholly with our message. Like, we can have some things in common, but like, I'm not going to. And goes back to the Dr. Claude Anderson post. I'm not talking powernomics. I'm not gonna lie to you. That doesn't coincide with what I'm saying. Well, if we just say the money and we just take the wealth and put it in, no, I know everything that we have said about how white kids are living good off their parents' money, and like the money that people are living off is in vivo life transfers, meaning wealth you got from other people, not something that you're doing and building right now. I don't need self-help talk, right? We need to talk about very specifically, and you can't, so much of it is even contradiction. Because like you have that talk and then you try to couple that with with reparations, and it sort of contradicts itself. I don't think you understand. What we have to do right now has to be precise and very surgical. We have to do we're doing a surgical precision here. This is not something that you can. I remember one time I read this book, and it was about this dying neurosurgeon. I think it was called When Breath Becomes Air. And one of the things that he talked about was if you hit something just wrong in the brain, like you give somebody something that's called locked-in syndrome, which means that they can't move. They're still a full person. They understand everything, but they can't move their body. Basically torture. So you have to have a very precise surgery. This is very precise. Because people are going to always try to be getting us off this square. And so you have to be just like, I'm just doing this one thing. I'm not doing all this other thing. I'm not even talking about all this other stuff. I'm staying right here. This is my square right here. And everybody who comes into this space needs to understand that and be on board with that. Wholly 100%. And it has to be somebody who is on board with this movement. Not somebody who believes that they should be leading a movement. It's a lot that goes into it. So I'm going to my next caller. I'm going to 917. 917, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Yvette, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I just want to echo I think the last caller, when he said you do not have to give this away. I don't know about nobody else in the chat, but I watched this show because of you. I ain't watching it because of Dr. Claude Anderson.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate that.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure that I thanked you and all the work that you're doing in Tone for giving us a name. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, actually. And growing up and going to a lot of specialized schools, I was the token Negro and didn't know that I was a token ADOS Negro. And a lot of the Africans and Caribbean immigrants, they used to say certain things that white people say that we know is offensive, like, oh, you're so articulate and you're so well-spoken. And they would say the same things about me, pretty much saying, oh, you're not like those other dudes, you know, those other black people.
Oh.
And me and my friends used to call ourselves Team R&B, which stood for Team Regular Black. But I'm so glad that now we have ADOS to label ourselves with and cloak ourselves in. And,
Team Regular Black.
I love that you come with the stats. Say it again?
I said Team Regular Black.
Team R&B, baby, you know. Now Team ADOS. And, you know, I just want to thank you guys for all the work you're doing with the data. It's just so amazing how people act like they can't understand what you're doing. They're trying to give us Microsoft stock in 2019, acting like they don't understand the window closing out a long time ago.
They don't. A lot of them really don't. Some of them kind of, but some of them really don't understand. They think that's going to build into make me a millionaire. They don't know when you had to buy the stocks and the relationships that you would have had to have bought that stock during that time. So they don't even understand like the inside knowledge that you would have had about what was going on in Microsoft or what was needed in the technology field to know that you needed to buy that stock at that time. Like there's a lot missing in terms of what they understand. So, but I appreciate it, fam.
Exactly. I just want to let you know, New York love you. Keep up the good work.
I love New York back.
Don't let these chocolate covered white folk get you down.
It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, fam. It's not gonna happen. And understand that this isn't like you know, understand that I feel like what we have to do going forward is it's a lot that has to happen, but part of what has to happen too is that we can't go into this the same way we normally go into projects. There's a reason why I call Pan-Africanism this kind of vanity project in this era. Not when it happened, not then, not when we were talking about, you know, the African leaders who were really, you know, before they were assassinated. There's a reason why I say in this era is a vanity project. There's a reason why I see a lot of projects and a lot of conversations and conferences that happen as like vanity projects. Because it's all about making people feel good. And it's all about making somebody. I remember I asked somebody, somebody told me, well, they got on me because I said something about the Congressional Black Caucus having their weekend or whatever. And they said, well, Yvette, well, we talked about your school closing. What you got to say about that? We talked about Howard, and we talked about we talked about that. And I said, yeah, okay. I said, but was there any kind of plan put forth to do something about it? And the person just went silent. And so I say that to say we have to be, listen, anger is one thing. Anger is necessary because it can be used to fuel something. And it's being used in part because it's not just anger. We know that this is right. Like we're right. And we're anchored in something. We're anchored in the same thing our ancestors were anchored in terms of wanting to be free and knowing that that is our inalienable right, right? But what we feel in terms of this push and what we've always felt has to be transformed into power. That is that next thing. So what we're doing is not about, well, you got to let Leroy speak 5 minutes, and you gotta let Claude speak 5, and he gonna be mad, and well, Miss Regina gonna be mad if she don't get 7 minutes. It's not about making nobody feel good. This is about where we go from here. What do we do? How do we think? How do we move? I don't care if you feel good or get your feelings hurt. I'm not an ego-centered person. I don't do that, but I know what needs to happen. I have an idea, and I have an idea of how it needs to happen. Anybody who can assist with that, I'm happy to have on board, but you're not just gonna get on board to just make you feel good, so you don't huff and puff. I'm now coming to I'm coming now to 513. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, love. Thanks for taking my call, Yvette. Love you to life. I'm American.
Okay. Love you back.
Proud descendant of slavery in America. Okay. My grandmother marched with Dr. King, took her kids on the Poor People's March, okay? When they say that their parents were civil rights activists, I want to know how many Poor People's March they slept in. How many times they had to sleep outside. I'm calling in because I'm a bit concerned about this hijacking of the ADOS narrative that you and Tone, who I believe should be the face of the ADOS. So if anybody is talking American descendants of slavery, and a media guru or somebody wants to come, they should be coming to Yvette and they should be coming to Tone. These are the people who have crafted this narrative. These are the people who have kept us on point weekly, highlighting the issues that are important to this narrative. With that being said, and this is no shade to anybody, but there has been movements towards reparations. The UN has acknowledged that America owes us at least $14 trillion in reparations. There's a group called NCOBRA who started in 1986. Tell me,
hold on. Tell me what NCOBRA stands for.
NCOBRA stands for the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America.
Okay.
Okay, that's ncobra.org if anybody's interested. But like you said, they have an emphasis on Africa because they have offices in Ghana, they have offices in London, and really,
how have those offices impacted your life?
For me, because they came out in 1987.
Not just you. You don't have to use yourself if you don't want to. You can use like black American DOS people in general.
It brought the narrative out at a time when we weren't talking about it. In the 80s and the 90s growing up, we weren't talking about reparations. But impactly, economically, they've done nothing. There was also a case that went to the appeals court even, where the 9 corporations, including JP Morgan, was sued, and the appeals court threw the case out. So my thing with this is, again, we have to stay on point and allowing you guys to lead the narrative so that as a group and a collective, we can become louder about what we want reparations to look like and how it will be served and how it will become a part of the larger political agenda and the larger media. But this is my concern, sis, because there are articles that are coming out inside ADOS and they're using somebody else's image. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Eldridge Cleaver, but Eldridge Cleaver, he was the face of the Black Panther Party back in the 70s. Okay?
It's 2019.
He made a book called Soul on Ice. In this book, he detailed how he used black girls and women as kind of
wasn't he? Well, didn't he rape people or something? What's your point, Colin?
The point is, the people that, just like you set it out and said, okay, Boyce Watkins, you can't be a part of this because you've been anti-ADOS. Okay, you've been anti-reparations the whole time. When I see someone like Tariq Nasheed be applauded and told that he's on point because, again, he's picking up a narrative and he's kind of changing that narrative. And now he's been able to reap the benefits of it, and he's becoming the face. When people write anti-ADOS articles, they're using his image. That's a problem for me, because this is a brother who is Eldridge Cleaver 2.0. Anytime you have children in the black community committing suicide, okay, hanging themselves because people are calling them darky, people are calling them black, this and that, or you a crispy, and you have somebody who is resurrecting Jim Crow insults, okay, and using it in our movement, where we're calling each other dead witches and coons.
I get you. All right, okay, I get it though. I get what you just said, but understand something. Listen. We have rooted this in the Washington Post. It was me in the Washington Post that they quoted. It was me and Antonio that they quoted in the Philly Inquirer. It was in the Intercept. It was me and Antonio. So I understand whatever issues. I understand you have issues with Tariq Nasheed. I hear you, or I hear what you're saying. I've heard you. My issue is that I don't think that you're right in terms of I don't think that's happened. I think what has happened is that he has used his platform to share this and to retweet me and retweet Antonio. I can't speak to anybody's intentions. But in terms of But in terms of how this has been rooted in the mainstream media and who they've talked to us. And I would assume that you know, Tariq had the opportunity to talk to people too. I'm assuming, given his large following, that somebody reached out to them, and then he said, and he kind of pushed back. I don't know, but what I'm saying is that this has been rooted squarely with us.
And I have one question for you, sister. Who is Simmons Earl Nicholson, who holds the trademark to American ADOS and Native Black DOS? I have no idea.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have any idea who these people are. I've never heard of them. I don't know what you're talking about.
I appreciate your time. I would say look up the trademarks. There's a trademark being registered recently on the 10th by this person by the name of Simmons Earl Nicholson. He has 2 trademark records that have been published, Native Black DOS and American DOS, for goods and services, athletic apparel, t-shirts, and pants.
Okay.
So I said that's not Yvette and tone. That's concerning. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
I appreciate that part.
You guys control this narrative.
All right, I appreciate that part. Ooh, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Listen. At the point to which, you know, at the point to which, when you have looked into when you have looked at the mainstream media, and when you've even looked at this show, when you've looked at our media, I think it's pretty clear that everything that we have done has rooted what we're doing now, right? So I just have like this problem with, you know, and I don't have any problem with anybody having any problem with anybody else, but I think for a short time, you know, we have to be able to come together around something. Now that doesn't mean if something happens or whatever, if somebody gets out of line or whatever, then everybody doesn't have to go a different direction. We always got to be ready to pivot. But I think sometimes we have to like push something. We don't have a lot of time. We're headed towards an election cycle, and we have to push this. We have to move this. You don't get to just move it all the time. So anyway, I'm going now to 818. 818. I'm going to 818 now.
What up?
What's going on?
Well, yeah, it's Tom Talks.
What's going on, Tom Talk?
What's up? You know,
you calling from different numbers. I don't know.
A couple things. I just want to make my point real quick, and say that, look, one of the issues right now is everybody pinch strapping. And, you know, I think this is a moment of conviction, and I appreciate everybody's support. Let me say this. You know, I didn't follow Tariq Nasheed much, and, you know, I watch your show Mondays and Wednesdays. I watch those shows. But when Tariq jumped in, he jumped in and showed support. And I don't, you know, I can't deal with what he said before, and if it's offended people, I understand. But at the end of the day, as I understand, he's ADOS, and he showed nothing but support for ADOS without trying to co-opt it and say it's his. And he listened, and you know, if you guys have that issue with him, bring that to him. That's not our place to tell him you can't speak for the group, you can't say nothing. Like, y'all follow him, y'all watch his show. Like, I don't know, like, and also you have to understand that he has an audience that might not watch the Yvette show.
Yep.
Stop tiptoeing.
Yep.
Stop tiptoeing. Don't tell that man. Don't call in the Yvette, make her uncomfortable when she got to say something negative against Tariq Nasheed, somebody who's done that. But like today, I sent Tariq Nasheed the website. He just retweeted exactly what my tweet was.
Yep.
Let's stop all the games like in playing. And I'm saying, like, even when we come with these acronyms, nobody was caring about slavery and reparations before we started really talking about it on a national level. I'm not saying that older people didn't do little groups and stuff, but they, to me, got the narrative wrong. They don't really want to focus in on being American and owning the resources of the country and our input in the culture. It's kind of like this mix between Pan-Africanism and America. It's not really owning the fact that you got to hold these West African countries responsible. I'm not hearing nothing about tourism in Ghana. I don't care about touring Ghana. I just want my reparations. That's all I need. I don't need no ticket for no train ride in Ghana. And I'm saying to you, out of respect for these organizations, I don't care what their acronym is. I respect that they did their acronym. I hope it catches whatever acronym they use. Now let's get to the trademarks. A lot of y'all are doing a lot of legal research, and y'all not attorneys that do trademarks. I'm not an attorney that does trademarks. we not here to sell T-shirts. Now, I'm not saying that if it gets to a point where he's saying something like that we don't agree with on the shirt, that we have to say something, but we doing a hashtag ADOS. You just said he had a trademark for American DOS. We can't protect every form of American DOS. That might not work for, like, we're not here for that. We're not here to sell merchandise. Am I saying eventually we might do a shirt just to brand the message? Yeah. But we're not here for that. See, we're trying to frame this thing like a company. This ain't a company. This is a movement built around getting you made whole. Go ahead.
And there's another part to it, Tone. It's not even like somebody come to me. It's not even like you came to me as a trademark attorney. Or your cousin is a trademark attorney. And you say, Yvette, I want you to talk to my cousin. Like, you're just coming to me like, I don't even know how much that helps, and you don't even know how much you could change something in a small way that evades a trademark. You don't like you know, there's not enough for you. There's not enough information there for you to really help me in a meaningful way.
Well, I think part of it is that we traffic in conflict, and like at the end of the day, we focus, laser focused. When they looked at the thing with Boyce, the reason why you had to say something about Boyce is because he been selling flashcards. Now the young woman might have a point. She might feel that Tariq's message has been in total conflict with ADOS. I respect that, but you need to take that up with him. I'll tell you this: Tariq never said directly about Yvette the things that we saw from Boyce. Like in terms of the core messages of believing in capitalism over reparations, I haven't heard that from him. What I heard is tangibles 2020. What I heard is I want to hold politicians accountable for what they're going to do for American descendants of slavery. Now, he might have said something weeks ago. Read from it. I don't know. All I'm saying is right now, where I'm at, I just appreciate and applaud the brothers for opening his audience and keeping it real kosher as far as just post the article as it is. That's all I see right now.
Well, because Tone, listen, the thing that I said, the time, listen, if he was, you know, and I can't speak to the future. If the future changes, I'll change. But when that stuff happened and Ann Coulter tweeted him, he didn't tweet back. He could have been like, Ann, let's meet up. Let's have a conversation or something like that. Like some weird stuff. Like all these people who want to get in with Republicans and all this weird stuff. Like just leave it out there. See, I don't think people understand from me. I'm more concerned. I'm not talking about what happened back then. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not co-signing nothing. I'm more concerned than ever with what happens right now and how we get that message out. And to the extent that he has a very large audience that doesn't really listen to me and may not even like me, and he retweets what I say, that's a good thing in terms of the message that I need to get out. Like, why come in, like you said, Tom, if you have a problem with that, why you don't want to take it to him? You want to come on my show? Well, I don't like what he said. You didn't call into his show and say that to him. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to chime in because we're dealing with a lot of, you guys need to do this, and I'm not doing what you want me to do. I'm doing what I want to do, and we're going to do it right. If you want to start something and you want to call it enslaved instead of slavery, and you want to do that and get it going. We coming now. We coming for the check. We'll see you in Louisville. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, Tom. And understand something else, everybody. Understand something else. We're talking about slavery as the institution. Like all this stuff to come out. Well, I use enslaved, not slave. The reason we say slavery is because that evokes the institution of slavery. It was not an institution of enslavement in this country. It was you can call your ancestor whatever you want to call you. If you want to call your ancestor enslaved, I don't have do what you do whatever you want to do. We're talking about the institution of slavery. You don't ever hear anybody refer to the institution of the enslaved in America. It evokes a very different thing in terms of the connotation and the feel and the energy of it. 773. I'm coming to you. 773. What's going on?
Good evening, Yvette. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm well. Long time no talk to.
What's going on?
Yeah, this is John from. I would like to evoke something that Reggie said. Reggie's from Boston, from a previous show you had.
Okay.
Because you're talking specifics. And what Reggie said was, you have to repair us with the same specificity that you broke us.
Mm-hmm.
And that was powerful.
Yeah.
You know, he, I mean, because, you know, the things that our ancestors went through, and I'm just so grateful for your show because, and tone and the things that you guys are bringing to, because the narrative was that our ancestors didn't fight, they just laid down, they didn't do anything, and one of the things that you guys always talk about is the lens that we see things through.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at things through a 21st century lens compared to people who didn't have all of this information we had today.
Yeah.
And what I started to understand as a result of listening to you guys was that, hey, not only were they outnumbered by the people, but you had the federal, you had the state, you had the local authorities that were in the crowds that went in and did all the pillaging and plundering every time that we tried to rise up. And we have people talking about these people just laid down and didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, you're right,
that's why I'm sorry.
No, I said you're right. You're right. But you know, when we talk about it, both you know, Claude said something like that. So I don't think people understand the contradiction. Like, we never fought. Like, you know, there's so many, you can't have those sorts of contradictions in terms of what we're doing. You have to be very concise in terms of how we're moving. So, you know, finish up your thought, Carla. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Yvette. And again, you know, I don't think that as we listen to you guys, we understand what you're saying when we're talking about windows, how times are just different now. The things that the things that those leaders from those other countries did at the time, and the way that they were assassinated for their stance for their country, it's just not like that with the groups that's over there today. And the bottom line is what you guys state all the time. You know, listen, we're concerned about what happened here. Yes, we have to say American first, because the bottom line is we're American. And most of those people from those other countries who come here and try to put their thoughts about what we're trying to do out in the open have a home to go home to. This is our home. This is our home. This is where, as you so eloquently always state, the bones of our ancestors are buried.
Yes, sir.
We know what's in the soil here.
Yep.
We know what's in the soil. And we need to get to a place where we're willing to die for what it is that we believe and what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Because this thing that you guys are doing is so important, and I'm just so proud of you guys. I'm proud.
I appreciate it, bro.
As a black man, as a father, you, Tone, and the people that you and Tone introduced us to, Sandy Darity. I was in Dr. the Cosby over there out of Louisville. All of these great men who are assisting you guys and trying to get this narrative on point as it should be. I just love and appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too, brother. I appreciate you too, brother.
Regularly, and I will be in Louisville.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
Donation tickets.
I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you calling in.
It's my birthday month. I'll be there.
All right. I appreciate you, bro. Especially
Love
after.
you, Yvette.
All right. You have a good one, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, especially after them contentious calls. I appreciate that. Woo. That's a real black man right there. That's how your daddy be talking. That's how your granddad talk. That's how it is. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, bro. 516. I'm coming to you. Oh, what's going on here? 516. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette.
Hey.
Jeanette Morris from Elmont, New York. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've been listening to the show. This is like my third time calling in.
Okay.
And I'm just like the rest of them. I just want to say you're doing an awesome job. I really thank you for putting all this information out.
Thank you.
I talk to my kids about it all the time, and we listen together.
All right.
You know, so
as a family, as you
I'm so
should.
proud of you.
As you should. Family, political education.
Affair. And I just want to say one more thing.
Okay.
The next time some Nigerian or somebody is sitting next to you somewhere talking about how they went to college and they all educated and stuff, you let them know they owe you money too, because they stealing. Because when they wrote on that college application black and got all them grants and all of that stuff to go to school, that was something that one of our ancestors could have used. Okay.
There you go, fam. You done told the truth. Shame the devil now. Shame the devil this evening.
Exactly. And that's all I have to say. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. I appreciate your call. I appreciate you. I am going now to 732. 732, I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? 732?
What's up, Yvette? This is Chris from Jersey. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I was snapping in the chat. Please take my call. Yeah, love you, love Tone, love the website. Yvette, I'm just sitting here thinking. So, you know, these past couple of weeks have been really, really interesting since the whole ADOS thing is definitely hit mainstream. And it's like two factions. You got the black YouTube sphere with folks who want to latch on to this. And it's like you got those who are really genuine about it, which seems to be smaller groups than those who want to use the whole ADOS hashtag to pull in folks for views and spew their own ideology. And then you got the black gatekeepers within the media who want to disparage and sabotage this whole ADOS thing. And I'm just at the point where I'm getting real fed up. You know, you got all these Pan-Africanists too. They talk all this BS, but then they never want to challenge you on the phone. Nobody ever wants to really step up and really back up all the BS on social media and these other channels when it comes to really putting down your argument straight up. And I'm just getting tired and frustrated and sick of the nonsense. I had a dude I heard over the weekend say some of the most disrespectful stuff about you.
Oh yeah.
And then goes on.
They've been doing that though. They're gonna keep doing that. They're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, he had the nerve to say a lot on top of some really other disrespectful stuff, but then say you're a man hater. I'm like, I've been listening to Yvette since September of 2017.
Thank you.
Episode. Yvette, you know what got me hooked? I'm gonna tell you what got me hooked. You did the episode that said I think it was like 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 black males or black youth born into the middle class will
fall back into poverty. Fall back in that bottom quintile. Yeah, I remember that.
I said, damn. Yvette, I said, damn, that's me.
Yep.
That's me. That could potentially be me. I mean, I'm in my mid-20s. You know what I mean? I said, that could be me. And from that point, I said, I got to listen to this system. I got to listen to what you're saying. I've been listening to you since September 2017, Yvette. And to hear that dude come up with the lies like that about you, I mean, I'm getting sick of this. I'm getting sick of this. So, you know, the way I see it, the lines are being drawn.
Yeah.
This is natural. When a movement develops, you know, the lines are being drawn, and then people are going to have to pick where they stand. Either get out the way, or you got to be the wind in the sails with this shit.
Yeah, we can't. One thing we can't have, and I've talked about this before. We can't have any fence sitters. Like you know, it's one thing if you don't want to be online like that. But if you online, I can't come into you like I see some of y'all. And I look at your page because you'll tag me or something, or somebody will tag me, and you'll be in there. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't. What you don't know? You know. Well, maybe sometimes she. Well, maybe she. You know, I never said that. You know, I never did that. If you watch me, you know what I did, and I've been very, very clear on everything. I've been very, very clear on the data and what the data says, and I've stood on that. Like I've stood on that. So if you watch me, you know where I stand. If you coming in there saying, well, maybe, man. Because these other people ain't fit. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal. They don't care. Like you can't go in there. Like you gotta go in there knowing that. Like I don't care what nobody says about me. I don't care. Don't matter. Like, but like if you know something, if you're in there and somebody's lying, you can't just be like, well, maybe you know I ain't saying no stupid stuff like that. I wouldn't. It doesn't even sound like something I would say.
You heard Yvette, you heard their feelings. You heard their feelings. This dude said I called her and she hung up on me.
Oh,
their feelings, Yvette.
Oh,
and now they want to spew their opinion instead of sticking to the data and the facts. Listen, real quick. I'm applying to grad school. I got a BA in poli-sci. I'm working on my graduate admissions for this upcoming fall. I'm not going to name the university, but there's a major university out in Pennsylvania. Now, they got a scholarship for Nigerians. It's the Nigerian Alumni Scholarship.
Oh.
I said, I should try to apply for this as an ADOS. So let's see how this
goes. Let's see it work. Let's see if it works.
I just want to do it as a joke event. I want to try that, and let's see what BS they try to put up to prevent me from getting that.
Hey, if you try and they reject you, send me the letter.
I will, Yvette. I bought my ticket. I bought 2 tickets for Louisville. I look forward to seeing you.
I look forward to meeting you, bro. I look forward. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I look forward to meeting everybody. I look forward to meeting everybody in Louisville who I know. Like there's so many of you that I know who have told me that you're coming, and I know you by your handle, but I've never seen you before. So I'm actually very much looking forward to that. I'm going right now to 617. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
I'm lucky I got in. Reggie from Boston. What's going on?
What's going on, Reggie? You lucky you got in, because I'm cutting it off tonight. People crazy. No, I'm just playing.
Listen, it's crazy because I'm fresh off a podcast I was invited to. And guess what the topic was?
What was it?
It was reparations.
Oh, very good podcast. That's a very good topic.
Yeah, the topic was reparations. You know, the ancestors must have did something because the guy that they were going to bring, for some reason he couldn't make it. And, you know, and the guy, you know, we're friends on Facebook, so he saw me doing what I do. So he's like, Rich, you want to come through? So, you know, of course I'm coming through to plug, you know, ADOS101.com. You know, the ancestors are working. But, you know, so forgive me if I'm repeating some of what you may have said because I've missed the bulk of the show. You know, there's been a lot of, you know, Pan-African, you know, pushback, you know, from some people I respect, you know, and from some other people that, you know, shouldn't even be talking to me. But, you know, what I'm hearing is, you know, it's kind of like, you know, if you were on the corner at one point, you know, doing what you do, you know, you're one of the purported OGs, and you leave the corner, and I step on the corner, why are you coming talking to me like, get off my corner? I ain't seen you on the corner. And if we're going to take it a step further, you know, in terms of you know, Sandy Darity, ain't he going to NCOBRA this month? You know, NCOBRA's been doing reparations work for 30 years. Sandy Darity's been doing it for 30 years. So for people who are coming up and saying, oh, why ain't you talking to this reparations movement or collaborating with that? We're sending our OG. Dary's going over there. Why are you talking to me?
What'd you say? We sending our OG. We sending our OG.
And it's like even one of their symposiums were titled 40 Acres and a Mule in the 21st Century. But you're already talking to my OGs. Why? You're right. But
let me just say this, Reg. What really bothered me about the whole thing though was like it was almost like a kind of paternalism, right? Like did nobody from this group reach out to me and say anything? The only thing that they did was attack me and saying we've been doing this work for you didn't reach out, you didn't say nothing, what is the attack? Like if I'm doing this work and somebody else is if somebody else jumps up and says I want to do this too, or I you know, or whatever. I'm doing this and I'm doing it a different way. And then the person jumps at me like, well, everything would have been right. All right, if you hadn't said that you wasn't Pan-Africanist. I can say what I want to say. I can do what I want to do. There are no gatekeepers here. Like, I don't think people understand that. I don't have to come to you and kiss no ring. You ain't got no power. You ain't got no wealth. You don't have anything. I don't have to. I can devise a strategy and lead this how I see fit to lead it. I can do that. I don't have to come to you for what? You come to people when they have something that you need, whether it's people or manpower or resources. I don't have to come to you. But you could have came to me and said, hey, Yvette, I like what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what you did. Y'all got on Twitter and attacked me for a week and a half. So now that's where we are, and that's the energy you're going to feel because you shouldn't have done it that way. You don't get to like, and now you know. Go ahead, Reg. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, and I have a question about, you know, you gotta see who came before, you know, and I'm not, you know, detracting that because, you know, actually I feel like the way people like Kwame Ture was moving when he went down to Loudoun County, it reflects a lot of what we're doing. Like when you read Black Power by Kwame Ture and Charles Hamilton, when he talks about movement building, one of the first things he says is required is redefinition of your group. Is that not what we're doing here?
Say it again. Redefinition of what? But you know what he also says? Redefinition of your group, and he also says don't enter into any arrangement where you are not in a position of power. Do not enter into an arrangement where you are... Go ahead, Rick.
You're getting ahead of me.
Okay.
Step 3, hold on. Because number one, you redefine your group, and what he says that before the group enters open society, the first thing that they must do is close ranks. How is that different from what we're doing? The second step he talks about is political modernization. Is that not what we're doing? Modernizing, adapting to the landscape as it exists? And then, Yvette, to your point, number 3, as we are setting the terms for the arrangement of the coalition. We keep saying this, that we have to assess people differently. Not that we don't love African people around the world. Like the very existence of ADOS people in this country is Pan-African by design. They grab people from different tribes, ship them all over here. We all slaves together. We all then revolt together. So the very existence of us in this country is a testament to the idea of Pan-Africanism. What are you talking about? So as we move forward, you know, we need to hit the reset button. It's like I can't assess South Africa based on when Mandela's there. Malima's there now. That was me. I want to talk to Malima. I may not want to have talked to Mandela. It's a different time. I may not have wanted to talk to Mugabe when white folks put him there, because he was put there. But when he decided to appropriate the land, different time, Mugabe, that's the homie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
So, and when we're looking at, you know, maybe something like Nigeria, is that the homie? It's like you have the immigrants, who, some of the immigrants, not all of them, some of them who come over here, you know, like Ashley Acuna. Did you saw that Facebook post she had to where it's like, we need to have a conversation about how we treat house help.
Yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, who is we? Because I ain't never had no house help. I ain't never seen no house help.
That was so weird to me. It's like, what kind of question is that? It's not how do we treat house help. You sound like the Southern slave masters. The conversation should have been, why do we have house help in the first place? We have to reset and reassess Not that there can't be Pan-African solidarity, but the countries are moving different. The landscape has changed.
And I'll let you have the last word, Reg. But what she's saying is that she's elite. Like when somebody says we need to have a conversation about how we treat house help, they're telling you, that's why I say white is not a complexion or white is not a color. They're telling you that they're white because in this country historically we have been the help. So I don't understand how you want me to form a coalition with someone who is white people in their country. Like in a country where everybody is brown, you are the white people because you are the elite person with the power who can dehumanize and oppress people, and you often do as an elitist in that country. So you are not there is no, like you say, natural predators and natural allies. You do not naturally ally with any elite person as a bottom group in this country. I don't know how we would think otherwise.
Exactly, and for those who are saying, we're against people in the diaspora, Yvette, you've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't want Lovey. I want Lovey's made. Like my coalition are the people that you oppressed and left behind to come to this country and extract from America. Not all the immigrants, but like we said, disproportionately. A lot of these people are, professionals coming from, the top 1% their countries. We just got to reassess. And then just the last point, I wanted to respond to the sister who was going on about, Tariq. It's like I get it. People have concerns about Tariq, but at some point, I said this in an earlier podcast. Like some of the black women, it is like, and I do appreciate because I see a lot of people who identify as black feminists or intersectional feminists. I see a lot of them being quiet for a reason because they understand what's happening in terms of us going around an agenda to where people are putting aside differences. But to that sister, I say, and to some of the black women who got reservations, I say this: this is the time where you have to get over yourself as an individual. And let me say this, Reg. I'm not an intersectionalist, but if there was an intersectionalist right now who was retweeting me, I would say the same thing. If there was a feminist intersectionalist who was retweeting and who had a big following, I would be like, I'm going to be quiet on this right now. I'm going to, like, if this black intersectionalist sees what I see right now and is willing to help me advocate in this space right now, we have a common interest. And we need to work on behalf of that common interest right now. We need to work on behalf of what we can do to build up what we both see right now. That's what I'm gonna be focused on. And that's how I would, regardless, it's not just that, it's this too. That's how I would be focused. So that's just what I want to say about that. Yeah, I totally agree. And nowhere in Tariq's argument or Jason Black's argument or Professor Black Truth's argument or any of the other, black YouTubers, nowhere are they making the argument that a black woman can't have reparations, or someone who's black and gay can't have reparations, or someone who's LGBT or non-binary or whatever can't have reparations. If you are a descendant of slaves in this country, you get reparations. And when you look at the ADOS 101 agenda, how can you not just roll with it?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and I appreciate that, Reg. I appreciate it. One of the things that I think, one of the things that I have found with even people from all walks of life who have been debating ADOS-ness and what we have, American descendants of slaves, one of the things that I find is that everybody's making a pretty concise argument. Like, the people who've been with us and the people who, it's only the really, really latecomers who are just saying anything. But most of the arguments I see with that hashtag are pretty concise. They're not just these random whatever. They're pretty concise. And so as long as somebody is staying concise and being in the space that they need to be right now for this to gain traction, let's do that. Because that means right now we have a common interest and a common goal. Let's do that. Let's not get in the way of that. So I'm coming now to 757-218. 757-218. Coming to you now.
Yvette Cornell.
Otis, yes. Oh, Otis.
Look, I've heard all that y'all got. Everybody's come and done their work, so I'm going to be the school janitor. I'm going to sweep the floors and take out the trash if I can.
Go ahead.
Look, these people that keep going back and forth with their judgment about all those people like Tone was hitting on and Red just hit on, you all up in your feelings about what somebody else said, and then you have the nerve to say they made you mad. Grow the F up, because nobody can make you mad if you stay focused on the same things we talked about before: your purpose, your processes, and the people. There's an interesting thing with this. You see, I kidded you all the time, you know, because we chat through emails. I would let people know where I'm going with this. So everything they hear on air has nothing to do with my interaction with you. But people always say, oh, you just like Yvette. Quite actually, you're just a virtual figure that I know through the internet. And I love the mission you're on, and I've been perfectly honest with why I'm there. Yeah. For me, just to interject myself in this part of it, I told you, I have been at this for 50 years arguing with people in real life, on the job, in settings with teachers and educators, when we have, quote, friendly conversation. And usually they tell me, the loner me, you always want to bring somebody down. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it to you this way. If you want to be worthwhile and effective in helping this movement go along, stop telling me about what somebody else did to you. Do the things I told you that will work. Educate yourself. Do some recurring training. When you come to my page, it's public. I see a lot of people come on there. They talk to me. They want to like something, but they won't read the articles. Let me explain something to you. I call into shows and speak to the same people that are bad-mouthing the ADOS. I call them and I talk directly to what they said. I use the words they say. When they misrepresent what you and Tone have said, I ask them, how can you say that if you have not read this or that? Here's a perfect example. One of the knuckleheads that you blocked, but I monitor him through some other friends, had the nerve to say that you stole something from Jared Ball. So I immediately, I'm going to show you now, because I'm going to talk about the good parts too. Because we got some strong people in this movement that have followed you for a while. I followed you since about 2011 or 12 when you were doing On Common Ground and all that.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Graham. So, yeah, so I've heard panels with you and Tom McCurry, James Taylor, all of that. Some knuckleheads. As a matter of fact, one of the knuckleheads you used to be on with is down there taking pictures of foods at buffets in Miami, and he said a damn word about the people, his people rioting in Haiti because they're being abused and dogged out. See, but the thing is, I don't talk bad about him. I don't know him, but I do know the hypocrisy of what he's doing. And when he comes up and talks stuff about 400 years of slavery and now you want to beg somebody to remind you of slave, I go back and pull up the stuff he said and show him, look, you're coming with stupid. I cannot stand stupid. You're supposed to be intellectual. You're making a circus talking to people in college, pretending that you're an academic. But you ain't made no trip down to Haiti to do a damn thing for those people. We're advocating for us. You don't get to come and critique us if you will not do for your own. See, this is not personal with me. It tells me who you are. Let's go back to some more who you are. Steve Harvey. He dogged out Monique. We get the same thing. People talking about, oh, Monique shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. Steve Harvey told Monique that the money was more important than integrity.
Yep.
There's nothing else you need to know about Steve Harvey.
Nothing.
Because you know this. Without integrity, we will not achieve any semblance of freedom, reparations, justice, or nothing. And that is what has held us back. And I say it all the time. People can look it up. 1710, meritorious manumissions. That is when the white man figured out the only way he could save himself from us being in the collective was to take the people with no integrity, offer them some baubles, and they get their crumbs, and the rest of us suffer. So when someone shows you they're willing to take the bag, get rid of them. Leave them the hell alone. Put them in a category with the enemy, and when you get them in a line of sight, pull the trigger and put them out the damn misery. Stop following this echo chamber about they make me mad. No, eliminate them. Move on. So when I call in and I speak up talking about this show, I speak up for what it is you represent. I don't see you doing what Cobra has done. I would call in on the show and I told them, I'm older than most of the people in your audience. I can tell you this, 1989, I got at SMU, a professor was trying to get me involved in Cobra. Now, at the time, I probably could have afforded the membership, but he and I got into it over a coffee break because I explained to him, I'm country. I don't need the talented tenth running around doing conventions, flying all over the country, flying all over the world, when I can see the hypocrisy in your website. And I want people to do this because I went on a talk show and did it, and I put it up in anticipation of this show. That lady, you asked the lady about what Cobra is, she gave you the name of it, but let me tell you what they do. Like I said, this is a recording. I put it up already earlier today because I had to combat something. If you're going to read something, don't just recite the words. Try to get it, what's being said, and any contradictions. They tell you Cobra was for reparations in America. Now, I explained to the guy, America, really, from an imperialistic point of view, America is from Canada right on down to South America. But we know in layman's terms, when you say America, you talk about the biggest, baddest dog on the block, which is the USA. So don't get stupid and run me around a rabbit hole telling me about, oh no, that's wrong because other people got the chance. Look, stop playing stupid. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Cobra, organized in 86, actually the first chapter in 87, they had 32 years. They're all over the globe, and they tell you they're doing reparations in America, but they're all over the globe in the UN and prancing around. So I'm going to tell you again, I break things down so people understand it. I ain't got no time for no niggas dressed up in suits with sheepskins creating revenue streams and telling me they're looking out for me. And the man on the ground ain't getting nothing. If they were doing what they were supposed to be doing in all these chapters they had, there wouldn't be so many killings and deaths in Chicago, Detroit, Jackson, Mississippi, Yorktown, Virginia, Newport News. If you were doing what you're supposed to be doing, we would be seeing the man on the ground prosper. And let me tie it into another one you cover, because it seems like this is 101 repeat, run back to videotape. I'm feeling like I'm on a VHS, and we're supposed to be in the digital age. When you tell me about the value of somebody like Al Sharpton, because I'm not telling you the truth, I do the research. You made it plain to people. Al Sharpton got 100 chapters of land all over the country. The next time, see, I'm the kind of Negro, if I get to ask Al about his 100 chapters, I want to tell him, give me some receipts on how many active members are in that chapter when I can look across the list of 100, and most of them is post office box from Baptist preachers in small towns. Stop trying to pull the wool over my eyes. But people need to read for comprehension. Here's the other thing about Cobra. The lady tried to tell you the merits of that, and I'm okay if you want to feel good about Cobra and tell me about their longevity. But there's an old thing they say down south. I don't give a damn how long you've been doing something if you've been effing it up the whole time. Ooh. See, longevity don't have nothing to do with being proficient or effective. Nothing whatsoever. Unless you have some integrity and you're willing to do what? Discard what doesn't work and move on to something that has. Ooh. When I look back over history, you should be able to evaluate what was good, what was bad, and make some calculated adjustments. And I applaud you two for doing that.
Thank you.
Let me get a dig at my man, Tone, the son I never had. We refined the phrase during abolition, talking about enslaved Africans. But I'm going to tell you, I see the growth in what you do, and people need to listen. I went back and listened to some of your shows, so when I say this, it's true. Y'all used to say descendants of slaves, but when you got to the point that had to refine the language, after 3 years now, when you had to refine the language to declare who you are, Tone made it very clear, and I heard him when he said it. It is about the institution. It is about slavery.
Yeah.
So it, and I've been correcting people about that ever since. They say it casually. Some of them are supposed to be reporters and pundits and got YouTube channels. I ain't gonna call no names, but I had to clear them up because I was listening to a show. They got on there and they started with the bullshit. But I respect Tone and I respect Yvette, but they're not understanding Pan-Africanism. I tried to send you a video. If you get a chance, listen to it, because I tell these people out here, I feel like most of this thing is my virtual family.
Yeah.
Don't let people get away with misrepresenting who and what you're following.
Yeah, and that's intentional.
You got to have a Pan-African concept. I said, look, man, you're being contradictory in what you're saying. You're telling me I'm part of all the eggs in the basket. And all the other eggs got a flag, a culture, and they celebrate it, and we go to it, and we follow them in New Jersey, and we follow them in Florida, and we follow them in Detroit, because it's their year. Haitian independence, Papua needs this, we do it all, and we as Black Americans celebrate it because we like the diversity of our diaspora. And the minute I say, I'm born and raised from descendants of people who this place was built on, you holler, nigga, you being divisive. So who is actually following the white supremacist narrative? I'm the only one in a whole basket of everybody. People of color. This company, you put me in a basket of people of color. And all the other people of color get to be distinctively who they are. Yep. And when I raise my hand and say, this is me, oh, shut up, ain't your turn. Wait, that's the same damn thing the white man in this country has been telling us for 400 years. So I say it to these people again. Stop putting that stupid stuff in the chat about how somebody made you feel.
Oh, all this don't.
Pay attention to what's being said. And if you didn't get it the first time, guess what? It's on digital tape. You ain't got to look at Yvette. Put it on high and listen to it again, just like you dancing and rocking to Kanye with that stupid shit, or Jay-Z about going to buy the block. See, because if you actually listen to it with an open mind for 2 or 3 times, you might actually find out what it means. Because some of y'all are graduates, but you got some comprehension problems. I mean, I baby step people sometimes on Facebook and Twitter, but when you keep coming at me with stupid, I'm going to tell you, I don't mind putting a boot in your butt, talking you and dragging you like a damn tractor pull. I don't mind. And when you tell me how mean and nasty I am, I ain't no meaner and nasty than the slavery and oppression we going through right now.
That's right.
So if you come to my page, I got love for you, but when I find out you're not worthy of that love, I don't mind flipping the switch on you. I don't mind.
And that's what we got. That's what we got to do more of, Otis. We got to learn to flip the switch. We can't be just sitting talking to everybody all day. You got to flip the switch. Tell them what it is. You tell people what part.
No. I tease them enough till I can feel like, well, I'm somewhat a masculine. Just like, and I'm gonna tell you the other one I called and I talked to you about Professor Ball. He blocked me on Twitter. So you know what I did just to show you how people are. I actually put in a chat when somebody was talking about our money only stays in the neighborhood for 4 hours, 5 hours. I posted his I Mix for Our Life in there and said, actually no. Jared Ball has done the work and found out that was a Nielsen report, and we need to kill this myth in the black neighborhood. You're quite naturally to call me an old fool and all that, but I don't care. I'm deep in truth. I know you crazy and you got issues, so what am I do? Run out here and get bit by a rabid dog? No. I keep you at arm's length. Quite naturally, Mr. Ball comes in there and tells me, thank you. And I said, oh, so why I got you? You know what I did? I put them pictures up on Twitter when he tried to run, when he misrepresented what was said by you and Sandy Darity. That's the kind of Negro I am. See, you want to come here for praise, but then when I confront you about something you messed up, he thought he had taken those tweets down, but you know I'm the screen grab master.
You really are. You really are. I think you got that stuff on record. I ain't never seen nobody do that.
The point I'm making about this is, I come on Twitter and I told you this is my diary of things that are important to me. My private life is my private life. My son laughs because people call me a pick-me, and I had to ask him what a pick-me was. So that shows you where I am in my real life. But the point I'm making to you is, I don't let you take your shield and your pedigree and get out here and tell me you have integrity, and I can see in black and white you're being devious and purposely deceitful.
Yeah.
Don't you
dare I've seen that too. I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of it.
The person when you cannot stand and justify your position on what they're saying. That is what is destroying our people. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to leave it. One of the few people I've heard in a position, a public position, that has been adamant about that is Cynthia McKinney. She said you do not give them quarter. You call them out, and if you have to, you eliminate them. That's the best of them, get rid of them.
Yeah, shout out to Cynthia McKinney, absolutely.
Don't run from them, because then they claim that they won. Shoot them right between the damn eyes. But me, I like to play with them and let them wiggle a little bit.
Yeah, that's what cats do to cats do to mice. Oh, just dangle them around, play with them before they eat them.
I'm a lion.
Right.
But and here's a little twist to that. I'm a Leo, I'm a lion, but I went to the zoo. That's my other favorite thing to do, second only to watching people. I went to San Diego Zoo, and they had a big sign up there that said, male lion is much like man here in America. They lay around and sleep all day. The lioness does the hunting, and then they wake up and want to eat. But if he does his job right, the woman would let him think he's still king. So I'm all good with that. Much love to the fam.
All right, Otis. I appreciate you. As always, I appreciate you calling in and doing your thing and talking about, but yeah. Like, it's a lot of people. You know, one of the things that happens is, you know, people like, I don't even know what that you stole my work. Like, everybody, I've seen so many people, honestly, and I'm not going to get into it, who, like, I have brought onto this show, like, to support them, and you didn't really do any work. You did a video, and I've brought you on to talk about the video. There's no journal articles. There's no real work. It's a video, and I brought you on to, like, explain one video. That's not, like, I don't, and, you know, you try to put you in a position to where, you know, trying to, like, even though we don't agree on everything, to just, like, get you some attention or whatever. And I've seen so many people like that who I've done that, and then you get this whole pushback, and, like, you get them saying little snide things and not tagging you. It's all very odd. But understand, fam, it's not a, like, you have to do like what Otis just said in terms of you have to engage, and you have to fight back, and you can't be a fence sitter. But the second part about it is, you got to know that, like, you know, like the other dude was saying, I get upset. And it's kind of like, that kind of friction is not the kind of friction that you run into. You got to think about friction in your life. Like, a lot of people like to run, some people weight train. But that friction is the thing that makes you stronger. So if you weight training, that, when you get that last little bit, that's the thing that builds that last muscle. If you run in that friction, your lung and the work, that's your heart, that's how you get stronger, your legs, all that. That's not a bad thing. That's just a part of life. And you can't look at it. You just got to look at it like, this is a part of life, and this is what we do. And, like, honestly, like, I feel like us, me, Tone, you, everybody in the chat, you wouldn't be here if you wasn't built for it. You built for it. Whether or not you know what you built for, it's only a small thing. It's only it's only a stage to get through what we got to get through, to do what we got to do. Come on, man. So let's be in here. Listen. We're going to go out on this. Do not forget, please do not forget to like before you go, before we end the show. Please do not forget to like. Hit that like button for me. Please, you can go to donatebrown.com if you want to donate. You can go to patreon.com/ycarnell. You can also, do not forget ADOS.com. The agenda is up there. Please do not forget to check that out as well. Please also, you can go to subscribetobrown.com to get access. To add yourself to the mailing list. That's not the newsletter list. The newsletter list is in if you go and look in, it's not on this show yet, but the description of the last show, that's $2 a month. You can do that as well. But fam, do not forget book club March 21st. That's on a Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a Monday show, Wednesday show, and then we will also gonna do the book. And we'll have a conversation about the book. And we'll also have a conversation about when the book was written and how that fits into it. And maybe a small conversation about how do you approach a book and read a book and approach the scholar of the book. Because you can't just go into a book blind. You kind of have to know who the person is and, like, where they come from. So we have to have a conversation about that as well as when we go into the book, fam. And as we go out, fam, do not forget October 4th and 5th. That'll be the conference. I'm going to put that up. You can go to my Twitter account. You can go to Tone's Twitter account. And you can get the link at Breaking Brown is me, at Tone Talks is Antonio. And you can click on that link and get your tickets to go to the inaugural ADOS conference. So please, 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 if you're going to be around, if you have time, if you got $15, please, please, please do that for me. I'd appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you. And fam, until next time, sorry if I didn't get to you. Next time we'll have another conversation. We don't stress yourself out. We're gonna figure whatever problems we have, we figure it out. We moving. So let's do that, family. I will see everybody next time. Hit that like button like you hitting the like when you go out. Appreciate it.